Good morning, students. So today we will be continuing with our topic water. Okay, so as we were discussing about water, we talked about various sources of water. Then we talked about its occurrence, then distribution of water on the earth. Okay, and in our previous class we talked about how water is lost from the earth surface. Okay, so we have three processes by which water is lost. Okay, lost means it's not that it will lost in space. Okay, you can say that it goes at certain extent. It is lost at certain extent. So mostly water is lost from the earth atmosphere by evaporation, number one. Okay, in this we talked about how water is evaporated due to the heating process of natural heating process of the sun. Then we talked about respiration. That means how by the process of respiration the amount of water, okay, a very little amount of water is lost in the atmosphere or lost from the earth surface. Okay, and in this mostly animals are involved. Okay, that means in the process of respiration mostly animals are involved. Animals means both humans and other animals. That means during respiration they give out gases, but apart from that, apart from gases also water vapor is released from them. Okay, and that water vapor gets accumulated. We will talk about that later. Then third one was transpiration. Okay, that means transpiration means loss of water from the plants. Loss of water from the plants mostly. Okay, that means when during certain temperature, that means when there is a more heat or at places where there is more temperature is much more higher, the amount of water is transpirated from the plant's pod in the form of leaves, from the leaves. Okay, so we talked about the loss of water from the earth surface. So by these three processes water is mostly water loses from the earth surface. Okay, now after they are evaporated or after they are released from the earth surface, what will happen? Actually those water vapor reaches a certain height because it is light. As for example, in all these three processes, due to the heating process, the vapor becomes light and reaches at a certain height. As for example, suppose this is water body. Suppose this is water body, and due to process of evaporation, okay, that means by heating of water due to the sun. So in the process of evaporation, what happens? The water rises at a certain height in the atmosphere, and when it reaches at a certain height, it forms a clouds. It forms a clouds. Okay, that means the water that are lost from the earth surface gets accumulated at a certain height in the atmosphere in the form of clouds. So what do you mean by clouds in this sense? Clouds are actually accumulation of water vapor or water droplets. Accumulation of water vapor or water droplets that forms from the loss of water, or if you can explain it or if you can elaborate it, water due to due to evaporation, transpiration and respiration. Okay, so in conclusion, the conclusion means that what do you mean by water? If you see, what do you mean by clouds? So if you see in the sky, okay, we see a structure has been made due to clouds. Okay, actually these clouds are not a form of any other material. Actually it is the accumulation of water droplets. Okay, the water droplets get accumulated there in certain, but what you can say, accumulation means certain correlations. Okay, when it is grouped. Okay, so we have different types of clouds that we want to study about clouds. So after this, when water loses from the earth atmosphere, it accumulates in the form of clouds. Okay, so we can say that after the water losses, it is accumulated in the form of water droplets known as clouds. Now after this, what happened? We will talk about how it comes back to earth. Okay, that means back to earth, water back to earth. Back to earth. So as we talked about clouds, that means it is actually the accumulation of water droplets at a certain height. So when this water gets accumulated in a huge amount, these clouds becomes heavier. These clouds becomes heavier. Heavier means in a much more, that means we can say that the clouds, when excess amount is accumulated, excess amount of water vapor is accumulated in these clouds, okay, or when these two clouds get attracted, not attracted means when they are banked with at certain temperature, and here temperature is also very much, temperature is also regarded as the factors, temperature, pressure, so we are not going to talk about those all factors. So the water which has escaped from the earth as water vapor returns to earth in the form of rain. Number 2, in the form of snowfall and hail and snowfall. But for all this process, for rain, for hail and for snowfall, this factor is very much important. That means in all this factor we can see that rain also comes from the clouds only, hail also comes from the cloud only, and snowfalls, they also come from the cloud. That means we can't say that we get rains from the cloud. and we get hails from other places or other things. Okay, it's not that. So we get the all the things, rain, hail and snowfall from the clouds. Okay, but what is the difference between rain, hail and snow? We'll talk about slowly. Okay, so this was all about how clouds are formed. Then when this gets heavier, or due to certain other factors, they falls down in the earth's surface. They falls down on the earth's surface in the form of rain. That means we can say falling down of water droplets on the surface of earth. The surface of earth from the clouds are rain, hail and snow flakes. That means we can say that the water which get lost, the water which get lost from the earth atmosphere, sorry, earth surface, okay, from the surface of the earth comes back again in the form of water droplets from the clouds. Okay, so in the form of rain, in the form of hail and in the form of snowfall. So when the temperature, so let's talk about rain. So when the small droplets in clouds come together to form a bigger drops of water, they become heavy and fall down as rain. That means the falling down of rain droplets at a normal condition, okay, at a normal temperature is termed as rain. Falling down of water droplets at normal temperature, you can write normal temperature. That means normal, you can say atmospheric temperature. Okay, normal atmospheric temperature is termed as rain. So rain, as we all know, okay, we have seen precipitating, that means we have seen rainfall also. Second, if the temperature falls, the raindrops forms frozen and come as air. That means if the temperature is low, when there is a loss of temperature, these water droplets act as hail. These water droplets act as hail or falls down in the form of hails. Hails means ole. In Hindi, it is called ole. Okay, it is a, what you can say, rain, as all know, it is in liquid form, and hail is actually small ice-like structure. Okay, it is actually ice-like structure, and when it drops at the surface of the earth, after a few minutes it will disappear. Okay, it will again convert it into water droplets. That means forms of water, as we have discussed in forms of water. But when there is an extreme low temperature, we call it as snow. That means if the temperature falls further, if the temperature falls further, that means if there is a very little temperature, or you can say if the temperature is very low, little temperature or temperature is is much more low. Then the water droplets falls in the form of snow. Okay, as we can see in cold places, or as we can see in high altitudes where temperature is very low. Okay, so water comes back in the form of rain, hail and snow. Okay, now this water, what you can say, this water comes back to its normal position. As for example, we talked that the water lost due to evaporation, the water lost due to transpiration, and the water lost due to respiration. Okay, but where does that water lost from? Actually, the water is lost from water bodies, lost from water bodies. Okay, water bodies means, as we know that we have various types of water bodies like ocean, seas, lakes, rivers, ponds, okay, and even groundwater also. So after the water comes back to earth in the form of rain and snowfall, mostly hail, we don't conclude hail, okay, mostly in the form of normally in the form of rain and snow. So what happens here? Water bodies means large water bodies like sea and ocean. Then smaller water bodies, small water bodies like lakes, ponds. Then we have smaller water bodies like, you can say, rivers, streams. Okay, then underground water also, underground water. So in the loss of water from the atmosphere, we talked about that water loses from large water bodies like ocean and sea in the form of evaporation, from smaller water bodies lakes, ponds, and from smaller water bodies like rivers, streams and underground water. But when water comes back in the form of rain and snow, okay, the rain fed the water in all water bodies, you can say, not in large, in all water bodies. Okay, that means in water, fed the water in all water bodies means when rainfall occurs, it goes directly, it can go directly in the sea and ocean, it can go directly in lakes and ponds, and when rainfall occurs at a certain height, okay, or at other places, so it fed rivers and streams, and finally these river and streams finally mix with lakes and oceans or larger water bodies, as we know about the chronology. Okay, as we know about the chronology. Then again this rainfall also fed underground water. Okay, underground water by percolation of water into the soil, That means the amount of water when rainfall occurs, it's not that only in the form of rivers and streams. After it is mixed with rivers and streams, it goes in the large water bodies. Okay, the water get fades from the underground water also. That means from the ground, from the soil. Okay, then we have another thing about snow. Okay, as we discussed that snowfall mostly occurs at high altitudes or in the form of when there is extreme cold or extreme cold places. So snow is also a form of water, but in the form of solid, or we can say ice. Okay, we can say ice. So when this ice melts in the form of glaciers, you can say, when these glaciers melts, okay, due to certain temperature, because temperature in certain places is not equal, it changes according to the climate and weather. Okay, so when temperature rises, this snow or this glacier melts and mix in the small streams, and these small streams, as for example, suppose just say that this is a glacier or this is a mountain, okay, and we have snow here. When this melts, okay, small streams these are streams, that means 4 to 5 streams or 2 streams or 3 streams. The water from the streams goes into get mixed into the rivers. That means rivers are bigger than streams. Okay, rivers are bigger than streams. So after, when rivers flows into the certain place from various directions or various places, it flows from various places. Then finally it gets into the oceans. Oceans are seas. Okay, so in this form water gets fed. So I will give you an example of river Ganges. Okay, we will have an example of river Ganges in this case. Okay, that means river Ganges originates from, most of you might know, but most of you don't know. So it originates from the Gangotri glacier, which is in the Himalayas. Okay, then from the Gangotri glaciers in the Himalayas, it flows down to various small streams. So first of all, let me erase it. So we will talk about river Ganges, or river Ganga. Okay, that means all rivers have source and destination. Source and destination. That means its starting point and its end point. So let's take an example of river Ganga. So river Ganga originates from, that means its source is Gangotri glacier. That is in Himalayas. It is in Himalayan mountain range. Okay, and as we talked about glacier, means that in glacier water accumulates in the form of snow and ice. So when that ice melts, it is a very huge area. Gangotri glacier is very huge. It's not that it's very small. So suppose say that it is a Gangotri glacier. Suppose, just think, and water melts from here. Then it melts from here. Okay, suppose water melts from here also, and water melts from here also. So when this melts, these small streams becomes larger and larger. these small streams become larger and larger. Suppose this is river Ganga and these are small streams. Okay, these are small streams. It can be named also. It can be named also. Okay, and they are also called tributaries or distributaries. Okay, so suppose say if we are talking about river Ganga, its sources or its origin from river Gangotri, then through various streams, it is amount of water becomes large when it enters towards the river. Then this river Ganga flows through various states, as for example through Uttarakhand, then Uttar Pradesh, then it flows in Bihar, okay, then Bengal, and finally flowing through these all states. That means from Uttarakhand in Haridwar, okay, in Haridwar we have a Ganga bank, then Uttar Pradesh, Allahabad, okay, or we can say other places, then in Bihar, mostly in Bhagalpur, Patna, in Bengal we have Farakka, okay, then at last it enters to Bay of Bengal, and this Bay of Bengal is a sea. That means from these glaciers through various states, the river Ganga flows into the water bodies Bay of Bengal, and finally it gets mixed with Indian Ocean. Okay, that means this was all about the ocean the water back to ocean. Okay, so in this chapter we talked about loss of water from the earth's surface, then formation of clouds, then we talked about water back to earth. Okay, that means water back to its normal position. So these all forms a cycle. This all forms a cycle.